Hello and welcome back to Purple in Peril, a Warlock life. Here we are at level 17. As mentioned previously, I added the last of our Reaper points, so a bit more constitution, more on the reflex save. So that should get us up towards 40 reflex as well in Reaper mode, which in Heroic isn't terrible. In Epic we're going to be found wanting still, I think. Enhancements, just quickly. So I've taken everything I wanted in this Tainted Scholar tree, the 4th core and the 4th blast dice. I took 1 point in Soul Eater just for the 5 universal spell power, and I've been building up towards 6 in Vistani for the deflect arrows, which is very nice to have on a build that expects to take a lot of fire. As mentioned previously, I'm not putting anything in the shifter tree until we can get to Epic, at which point I'll be able to have the feat or the enhancement in the Draconic tree, which will allow me to rage and cast spells at the same time. So that's the point at which I'll reorganize. I'll probably drop down to something like 11 in here. Now, if you have plenty of racial points, you could put upwards of 20 in the shifter tree easily, plus more in this Tainted Scholar. Definitely. I think I go sort of late teens in shifter and something like 11 in here, 6 in Vistani for the deflect arrows, something like that. Because obviously we're going to have to spend a few more in the Enlightened Spirit to get the last 2 cores. I've not gone for any healing amp yet for obvious reasons, because we're not using any actual healing. It's all in temporary hit points at the moment, and no medium armor either because we're not wearing any. Okay, I think that covers that. For this level, I wanted to show the Brawn Pits quest in the Jorasco chain, because for a long time I kind of gave up on this because I just couldn't find the locations. There are 3 possible locations where he can be, so I wanted to show this one just to try to illustrate that it's a pretty straightforward quest once you actually know where he can be. First thing to mention, when you go up to the giants here at the start, if you have a decent concentration, as I happen to do, they can tell you where he is.
A handful of nomadic giants
But
have pitched their tents outside the
using backspace to highlight selectables and such, we can find... Oh, there you go. Found him straight away. The first place he can be is near that aqueduct area, and can you see he's just popped up in my search window there. So without even looking or asking, we know he's over there somewhere. So I will just go through the other 2 places.
The wind changes, and a sudden whiff of musky
Illustrate the fact you can ask these as well.
Don't these brutes have a wash?
So he's saying he's not by the river. The river is another of the places. So ask the next one. Picking flowers by the aqueduct. So he's told us where he is. We knew that anyway. If he didn't know, I think there's a 3rd one here we could have asked. So the aqueduct, we already see where it is, and how you get there. You go up on here and then round, and that's how you get onto the aqueduct section. So suppose he wasn't there, just past this shrine we go down towards the river section, and again keep pressing backspace. Obviously he won't be here, and he's somewhere down just in front of where I am now, down towards the river area. So that would be point 2. And the third point is following the road up towards towards the top of the map. Or actually it's towards the bottom of the map as we're looking, because the map's upside down in this one, isn't it? And turn left here, just before this this big raised up section. Just follow it round. Keep following. You'll get some opponents pop up here, I think. And there we go. Oh, well targeted. Oh dear. Keep circling round, and up on the top of this hill where this altar is, that's the third place he can be. So as we already know, he's on the aqueduct. This rallying cry, if you didn't know, comes from the one purple dragon past life that purple has. It's just a little bit of a sprint boost. People generally don't use it too much because, as you can see there's a cooldown, and while that cooldown is in operation, your iconic past life is not being used. So let's suppose you had 30 light and alignment spell power from your iconic Morning Lord lives. While that was on cooldown, you wouldn't be getting the benefit of that. That's as I understand it. So just follow the line of the aqueduct here. Oh, Mother Scorpion. I wonder if this is the one that gives the stinger.
The Mother Scorpion
Yes.
valiantly to defend its life. You take the stinger, reflecting on the deep respect of Okurita.
Now that's lucky, because that's part of the next part of the quest if you've never done this one. So just click on Brawn Pits. And he wants us to meet us back at his camp. So Brawn Pits camp is just back round here, where we've come from. You can see it marked on the map, the stew cauldron, that's where the camp is. So there's a load of stuff here, be prepared for a fight. Brawn Pits, in my experience, comes back only when the fighting is done, so it doesn't actually help you with the fighting. Any second now, there we go. Speak to him again. And he talks about a list of things, ingredients needed. We already have a scorpion stinger, so I think that should do. That's in the cauldron. Make the stew. Get Brawn Pits to have a look. And talk to him again. And now the objective moves. Take a nap in Brawn Pits tent. So we go and take a nap.
You lay down on
And
the
this
bed
leads us
first.
nicely into the
Perhaps
end fight.
oblivion will take you for a spell, if you can just get past the anger that boils within.
I missed the bit because we found the scorpion stinger already. You need to find only one of the 3 ingredients to go in the stew cauldron. The one I always go for is the spear down by the river, where the second place where you can find Brawn Pits. That section I went down by the river. Keep clicking on your backspace and you should find the spear to put in the cauldron. When you pick the spear up, there's a guardian scorpion thing that appears, so you have a choice of either fighting it or DDOing back out and going back to the camp to put the ingredient in the cauldron. My bad for not showing you that.
Touch nothing. Brawn Pits repeats as he leaves.
So
Get
Brawn
some
Pits
rest.
disappears.
I'll be back soon.
And this other lot appear. Now even with a high concentration, I don't think you can diplomacy this lot, so yeah, you end up having to fight.
Why the forge? The fire giant stammers as he stares
Put
at you
the
in
false
disbelief.
hit points on.
What are you doing here?
See, I'm trying concentration there. We're pretty good on concentration, but even so it failed. If the fight goes on for long enough, Brawn Pits reappears at the end of it to lend you a hand. Just speak to him again, and the quest is done. Treasure-wise in here, you can find some reasonably nice things. If you are either a cold or fire caster, you've got sickles of the Wild Frost and Wild Flame that can help you. And there's also a shield, I think, called the Giant's Platter that goes with those to make a set. I'm not using the shield because I'm pretty sure that carries an arcane spell failure as well, like the other large shields of its type. Okay, that was 17. Thank you very much for looking, and I'll speak to you next time. Take care.